All right, what we're going to do today is very simple. We're just going to have a look at the first assessment task and make sure that by the end of today, we know exactly what we've got to produce. Now, that's the first part of it. The aim of the exercise with this is when you go out into the world and start teaching, and you're going to teach Year 11 and 12 mathematics, the most crucial, important part of that whole 2-year period is when? Start. It's always the start, no matter what it is. So you get off on the right foot, you know what you're doing at that time, you're home and hosed. So that's what this is for. Now, what we're doing, we're just picking the mathematical methods unit from the Australian syllabus, and we're going to pick 2 of the topics that from the list there, and you plan a sequence of lessons for 3 weeks for the 2 topics. So it's 2 different sequences. So you'll produce 2 different things for that. Everyone's happy with that bit? Right. You are also required to produce scroll down a little bit. This is exactly what you've got to give me. First of all, obviously, tell me exactly what things you're going to do. It then says, develop a lesson sequence for the first 3 weeks for any 2 of the topics in the unit. The reason we're doing 2 is so we can get familiar with 2. Now, because we're doing 2 for 3 weeks, you're not going to give me any great detail, because otherwise you'll be there forever and a day. Right? So it's more about just giving me a concept of the way you're going to construct give the students the opportunity to construct their knowledge in the 2 targeted units over that 3-week period. What's the first focus going to be when you walk in the door for the first few lessons? Starts with an E. Engagement. How are you going to engage them in the topic and get them into it? And then from that point on, we're going to look at how we construct the knowledge through the remainder of the period for the 3 weeks. So, how many lessons a week do we do?
Roughly 4.
4? Right, so now it doesn't matter what the actual situation is, so long as you tell me it can be anything. Right, so let's do 4 lessons per week. That means, this is the way I would go about doing it. Let's pick, can you go, Catherine? Oh. That's good thinking. Very old school. Can you go to functions and graphs, because we did function in the syllabus, in the mathematical methods? Because functions is what we talked about last week or the week before?
One of the weeks.
Okay, so we'll look at functions and graphs. Now, before I start planning these things and figuring out what I'm going to do, it's an extremely good idea to go into the syllabus and have a look at what are the outcomes, what are the elaborations that I've got in the whole section, and then go, okay, that's about how much I think I can do in 3 weeks. Make sense? Then, what we've got to do is we've got 12 lessons. 4 weeks by 3 is 12 lessons. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We haven't actually started putting anything on paper yet. This is just the way we're thinking about it initially to get our ideas going. Okay, so there's my 12 lessons. What I do initially is I try to give an overall structure. Try not to plan on a lesson-by-lesson basis, where you just start at the beginning and go, I'm going to do this, then they go, what am I going to do after that? What am I going to do after that? That's why I like the 5 E's idea, because somewhere in this first 3 weeks, I want to give the students the opportunity. I'm going to engage initially. How much time do we want to spend doing that? Would you suggest?
I wasn't
Arbitrary answer, really.
How much time are we going to spend?
Focusing on just getting them engaged and thinking about what we're doing, because remember the first, it's about functions and graphs.
Three,
I want to
four
engage them.
lessons, 3 lessons?
3 lessons maybe, all right? So we'll go down to there. There's the first divide, and that's what we're going to do to engage them. Now it's functions and graphs. What would you suggest we could do with functions and graphs to get them engaged? Now, what are the characteristics of engaging activity for students? Is it us sitting up there talking? No. What is it?
Let them start
It's them
getting their hands dirty and doing something.
getting their hands dirty and doing something. There's 3 things they can do. They can either be listening, they can be talking, or they can be doing. The best of the 3 for engagement is doing. So what can we do on a functions and graph thing? Now remember, this is the very start of the thing. So what's one of our main focuses at the start of year 11? What do we want to make sure we do before we start blasting off into the new territory?
Make sure they remember your test.
Yep, engaging with previous knowledge. So the characteristics of these 3 lessons are they're going to be doing something. Right, so it's about doing. It's about prior knowledge, the things that they need to know, that they are going to need to know to get on into this stuff up here. And it's about us what's the purpose of the formative assessment in these first three lessons?
To find out what they already know.
So we know what they already know. So that way we can design and adapt what we thought we were going to do to fit the need of the student. So that's the sort of stuff I look for in this first few lessons. Have you got them up doing some practical thing where they're using their prior skills, and is it giving you the opportunity to find out what they do or don't know? Now, formative assessment does not mean a quiz. I don't want you to want them to walk in and the first thing they do is sit down and have to start doing an exam or something on a piece of paper. Because if you want to disengage them, that's the way to do it. So the activities you include in this engaged session are getting them doing things where they can show what they know, but you can do it, and it tells you what they know, but you do it in a non-assessing type of way from their perspective. All right, so what can we do? Think of an activity. Functions and graphs.
Ask them to design some kind of a model or something?
A model of what? How about if you were doing it here, what I'd do is something like, along those lines, you might pick a part of the school which has got some interesting features in it, like flagpoles and goalposts and things like that. And what they have to do in the first couple of periods is to go out and design a model, because it's about graphing. It's about getting them to work out a system so that they can give an instruction to somebody and the person can follow the instruction and go to this unique point on in that particular frame. So what you could have is, an example might be, one thing you could do, this would be a nice simple one, there's the school oval, there's the goalposts, and another one there. What you could do is get them to design a coordinate system for the oval which would uniquely position the goalposts. And then go, okay, we need to now put in the halfway line. Where's that going to be in the coordinate system? And the purpose, the way the activity is phrased, in my view, would be a series of questions or problems. So what they would have to do, and then and you get them to explain how they actually did it. So if you're going to do a coordinate system on a nice rectangular thing, what's the process they would go to? What's step